Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Braj and you are watching DJ Tech World. So in this video, I'm going to talk about multi-threading and what is a deadlock scenario and how deadlock is happen and how to overcome from the deadlock. Okay. First of all, what is multiple threading? Multi-threading. Okay. So multi-threading is a process of execution of multiple threads simultaneously or parallelly or at a time, right? So whenever we are executing multiple threads, okay, so there is a chances of having a deadlock scenario in that one. So today we are going to look about that. Okay, so for that one I will create a class, name it as a my thread, and I will extend a thread class here. So basically there are multiple ways to create a thread. Okay, one is by extending a thread class and one is by implementing the runnable interface. So today here I am using a thread by extending a thread class. Okay, and we have to override a run method. Okay, so I'm just printing some message inside run. Okay, and I will create a object of my thread equal to new my thread. Okay, and my thread dot start. Okay, I'm starting this. Okay, let's run this. Okay, so let me show the console. Okay, so we got the message inside run. Okay, so I will directly jump to the deadlock situation, deadlock scenario in Java. So first of all, like what is a deadlock? Okay, deadlock happens when two or more threads are trying to acquire a lock on an object that is already locked by some other thread. So in this scenario, both the threads are waiting for each other to release the lock from that object, and they are waiting for an infinite time, and the system get hanged. Okay, and this scenario is called a deadlock scenario. So today I'm going to show you that only. Okay, so to do that, I will first create two object. So let's create object O1 and let's give some value at object O1. Okay, another object I will create O2 and let's give it as a object 2. Okay, so here I will use the synchronize method. Okay, so synchronized is can be applied, okay, for a particular block of code, or can be applied to a method only to acquire a lock on an object. Okay, so I am using a synchronized here. So synchronized is first trying to lock the object O1. Okay, so let's print some value. Okay, so I will print the thread name, thread dot current thread dot get name. Okay, so once we get the name, let's try to print the class name as well. Okay, so I will just write class name, or no need to write this all things. We can simply thread, what is that, sorry for my typo mistake, thread dot current thread dot get class and dot get name. Okay, and let's give some a string value like logged O1. Okay, so once object 1 is logged, I will try to log the second object as well. Okay, inside this, so use for O2 and I will write the same statement, and here we have logged O2. Okay, let's remove it as of knowledge. When I will run this one, okay, let's show me the console. So here you can see it is a thread of 0. Thread name is thread 0 and the class name is my thread 1. Okay, and first it logged O1 and then it logged O2. So what will happen if I will run this infinite time? Let's write it while true. So it will run for infinite time. right? So you see logged O1, logged O2, it is running infinite time. Okay, so why I have implemented this, because let's now I will try to achieve that deadlock scenario. Okay, so just copy this class, I will name it as a my thread 2, and first I will try to acquire a lock on object 2. Okay, and here logged O2, and then I will log the O1. Okay, and let's create a class of O2, my thread 2. Okay, so my thread 2 dot start. So it will start thread for the another class as well. So what is happening here? Okay, so whenever we invoke start on the first thread class, okay, it will come here. Okay, it will try to lock the object O1. Okay, and meanwhile the execution of this thread, okay, acquired the lock on object 2. So after locking the object 1, whenever thread 0 or my thread 1 class, okay, trying to lock the object 2, but this object 2 is already locked by this thread. Okay, and for this thread, whenever they are trying to lock the O1, O1 is already locked by this thread. So both the threads are waiting for each other to release the lock, and this scenario is called the deadlock scenario. Okay, so now we have seen like it is printing for the infinite time. So once the deadlock is achieved, okay, it will no longer be infinite time, because it is never going to acquire the lock on O2, because this O2 is already locked by this thread class. Okay, I think you got me. So let's run it and check this out. Okay, so here it is not infinite, but it has printed lot of values. Okay, why it has printed lot of values? Because the time taken by this thread to acquire the lock, okay, and the time taken by this thread to acquire the lock is very small, very minor. So as soon as the lock is acquired for O2, this thread actually started the processing and printing the value. Okay, so you will see multiple value for thread 1, but for thread 2 we have one value here. Okay, so let me show you here. Okay, so you see here we have multiple value of thread 1, and thread 2 has one value only. So we can sleep for some time. Okay, let's give some 50 second, or let's give 100 millisecond. So it will throw interrupted exception, so we need to catch that one. Let's should try catch here. Okay, so now you will see two value only. Okay, one is for this class. Okay, whenever it acquired a lock on O1, it is printing the value for thread 0, my thread 1 logged O1. Okay, but simultaneously meanwhile this threads was also executing, and it has also in the same way acquired the lock on O2. Thread 1, my thread 2 logged O2, and whenever they are trying to lock again the O2, this O2 is already locked. And in this scenario, whenever they are trying to lock the O1, this O1 is already locked by thread 0. So these two threads are waiting for each other to release the lock so that they can lock the object O2, and it is never happening, so it will hang. Okay, so that's all the multi-threading part. Okay, now if you are working on some real project, or if you are developing some software, and if this scenario like happens in your project, it definitely sucks. So here you have only two threads, so it is very easy to recognize by looking into like uh, here a deadlock scenario is happening. Okay, but in a real life, like how you will see for which thread it has acquired a deadlock or what is happening. So for that we need a thread dump. Okay.
So that's all for this video, guys. If you like the content, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And in the next video, we will see like how to fetch the thread dump. Okay. Uh, Thank you for watching.